Mamai Flabo. Bienvenue. Kose mamai Castrizis. All right. My role this evening is perhaps one of the easiest things I would be asked to do, despite the size of the crowd, because it brings me great pleasure and a sense of pride to endorse Mrs. Fortuna Belrose as my candidate and yours for Castrizis. As a woman, a single mother, it would be considered risky to openly display my political affiliation, because under SLP we have no role. We women have no role. But because of the hope that Mrs. Belrose brings to us women, not only in Castries East but island-wide, we can openly, and I can openly show that I am a UWP. It is not every day a Belrose Kosaka Sotia Castrizis. Gade. Patulejwa Belrose Kosaka Sotila. Even before I heard Mrs. Belrose's message, before I heard Fortuna's message, her track record alone and her lifelong and loyal service as a civil servant, irrespective of which party was in power, spoke for itself. Her name and reputation remains unblemished, though they try to, it remains unblemished. And I felt the need to align myself with a strong, positive woman who had dedicated years of service to the promotion of youth and sports throughout St. Lucia. I believe in the sisterhood. I believe that the strongest supporters of women should be women. And we women should support our woman, Mrs. Fortuna Belrose. When I see Fortuna, I see my mother, a woman who, despite her full-time job, is selfless in giving of her time for the development and betterment of the youth, while ensuring that her family life remained unaffected. She was able to multitask. Esapabo. Esapavwe. She is a successfully married woman who is juggling many things in her plate. Good job. Women out there who could understand our issues better than another woman. We're not saying the men cannot, but we women can understand our issues. And she will champion our cause when we vote for her and put her in the house. Who feels it most when there is no food at home? The woman, the mother. When, because of the economic situation, we have to juggle and decide which child goes to school this week, who goes next week. Who feels it? The mother, the woman. When the only form of employment they see fit for us women is short-term employment. So when we pay the bill this month, what happens to next month? What happens to the other months? Who has to think about those things? The woman, the mother. And only some get in the contracts, eh? So the loaf can only go in some people's bread pan, not everybody's bread pan. Mrs. Belrose will champion our cause as women and as single mothers. When we women no longer feel safe in or out of our homes, imagine that. Our sons, but mostly our daughters, live in fear of rape every day. Well, you are not spared, whether you're 7, 67, or 97. We are afraid. We cannot leave our mothers, our grandmothers home alone. We have to think twice. This is not the society I envision for my 2 children. Not at all. This is not the St. Lucia I want them to grow up in. This is not the future I want for them. When women hurt, who suffers? Our children. And we women, we are hurting. we are hurting. Women, we can break these chains. We have more influence than we give ourselves credit for. Look at the caliber of female candidates we have. Look at the caliber. Yes, give them a hand. Look at who is our candidate and who will be our representative. But look at you. You can do it. You can break the chains. You can do it. Don't underestimate the power that you have in that index finger. You can do it. Don't be bothered with the talk about the other candidate being there for 20 years. Don't be bothered with that. As a single mother, I endorse Fortuna Belrose because last I checked, it was David who slayed Goliath. So keep that in mind. That's our David. That's our champion. Good night, brothers and sisters.